Hi there, my name is Suze, and I work with women to help them find balance between their internal masculine and feminine energies so that they can have lives that feel really emotionally fulfilling, full of love and connection. So, I just finished doing a video on holding the lows. And so please do not watch this video until you see the first one I did in this series about holding the low. Okay. Very important information to start you off with before you jump into this. And at the end of that video, I did mention how I felt like I was running out of time. I really try to keep my videos 15 minutes or less, and I went a little bit over on that video. So I feel like I need to do part two to elaborate some more deeply on holding the lows of life, the lows of the emotional wave or the energetic wave, to really solidify this in a very physical, practical way to help you with tools to navigate the lows of life better. But please, if you have not seen part one, please stop, go see that one first, and then come into this one, okay? Because this one will make so much more sense and be way more impactful and in fact effective in helping you in your life with some practical tips. So, continuing the conversation from holding the lows. Okay, I talked about relationships and being very careful when your relationship is in a lull and maybe you're discouraged about something happening in your partnership with your person, being very careful about who you talk to, right? About that. And learning that sometimes being quiet and with yourself is actually the better option. Now, here's the thing, right? If you decide, and this is seriously an opportunity for massive emotional growth for yourself in regards to emotional availability and emotional intelligence in general. When you choose to be quiet and go within yourself, and you choose to not just instantly go to your friends for validation or support or for help or anything in the lows of your life, you will exponentially grow yourself and your ability, your capability, your capacity to hold emotion. And as I mentioned in that first video, what is that? That is abundance. Think about what the energy of abundance, what does that energetically mean? So often we limit the idea of abundance into, you know, money or love or whatever. But abundance is an energy. So it has to do with emotion. Lots of emotion, being able to handle lots of emotion. Because as I said in video one, emotion is simply energy in motion, right? So abundance is not just the happy highs of life, but it's learning to be abundant and hold the abundance of the lows, right? I said in that first video, you have your baseline, and then if you're looking at highs and lows like this, the wave is equidistant high above the baseline, the neutral, and low. So the abundance of the lows, it can be abundance of the lows. The more you hold this, the more you can hold all of this, right? Just to recap that first video. So here's the question. In the lows, do you recognize what you actually need? Do you recognize what you actually need? Because if you look at it as, okay, I need support, clearly. I need support. I need to feel calm. I need to feel okay because I don't like how this feels. If you recognize those are the needs, then you need to start flushing it out from there. Okay? I mentioned comfort in my first video. And clearly, if you're feeling upset or you're feeling low, you're feeling sad, you're not feeling good, comfort is a huge thing. Comfort. And we've taken that word and we've distorted it to talk about comfort foods. Comfort foods. Now, this is a huge thing, and this, again, entirely goes back to mother wounding. Again, talked about that in my first video briefly about mother wounds from childhood. Comfort foods and emotional eating is entirely mother wounding. Okay? So we have this very distorted idea of comfort foods, and we need to rewrite this idea because most of the time when I hear people talking about comfort foods, that's actually regret food, is what I like to call it. It's regret. It's the thing that you think is comforting you, and then 20 minutes later, or maybe the next day, you regret those choices and decisions. It can also be alcohol, because alcohol is great at numbing and escaping. I know because I've been there. Alcohol is amazing, right? At numbing out, quieting the mind, and escaping a problem and feeling a little bit better, right? Feeling better until you don't, right? Or the stereotypical, eating a pint of ice cream and then later regretting it and being like, oh, why did I do that? So clearly it's not actually comforting you if down the road you end up beating yourself up about a particular choice. It didn't actually comfort you at all. So that then, therefore, was not actually what you needed. Redefine with yourself what comfort actually is, because it's something, it's bigger picture. It's a long-term thing that brings you consistent, sustainable, guilt-free comfort, right? I've learned, for example, with myself, that the things that help me feel comforted are things that actually make me feel grounded. What makes me feel grounded? Root vegetables. Anyone who knows me knows I am all about yams, because yams actually, by the way, are extremely good for women, and estrogen plays very well with estrogen. I'm all about yams. So root vegetables are amazing. Another thing that I've noticed, is soups and broths. And the thing that's really great about broths is that you can put it in a mug. I have a mug here. I'm still drinking my coffee. You can put it in a mug and drink it. So it's very little effort, because when you're in the low, you don't want to have to do something that feels like a lot of effort because you just don't have the energy. You're dealing with enough. So don't waste your energy. Drinking broths can be amazing. And clearly it's very nourishing. We've all know broths are very nourishing and nutrient dense foods. This is how you have to start training your brain to think around these terms that have led to sabotage for women and regret and guilt and shame. Remove that and start doing some research with yourself about what actually makes you feel comforted. It's going to be things that feel grounding, that feel safe, that feel calm, that feel nurturing and nourishing. For me, another one of those things is tea, a cup of tea. It's warm, like a blankie. I'm huge on blankets. In fact, I have a blanket in my lap right now. I have blankets everywhere in my home. I buy blankets all the time like it's a problem. And I know a lot of other women feel the same way. I even sleep with a blankie. Like, I am all about the blankets because of the comfort, the security, it just feels very nurturing and like someone is holding me. And isn't that what you need when you're in the low? You just need someone to hold you and tell you everything is going to be okay. That leads me to the next one. What are you telling yourself in the lows? Do you shame yourself or rush yourself and say that I should be over this by now, or why is this taking so long? That is toxic masculine shaming and rushing and will not serve you and needs to go. In the lows, you need to be telling yourself that everything is okay, even though it doesn't feel like it in this moment, even though right now I'm feeling this way and it is okay that I feel this way. Everything will work out. Everything is okay. Those are the things you need to be telling yourself in the train of thought you should be in. It's learning what you need and giving it to yourself. This is why it goes back to that mother wound. If your mother had not done this emotional work with herself, she's going to have no clue with you as a child of what you need and in an emotional tantrum that you may have had as a child. So it's reparenting, it's healing the mother wound, it is strengthening your emotional intelligence, your emotional availability for others, because the more space you can hold for yourself in the lows, the more space you can hold for someone else. This is where we start creating change in the world of emotions. There's so much awareness happening in our world right now that we really need to do some deep emotional healing and strengthening within ourselves, because the world is very emotionally sick. This is where it starts, you with you. I'm also getting a hit right now. I'm remembering a video I did. I called it, I think it's the one that I called The Feminine Goes First. And I talked about in your relationship with your masculine partner, learning to create emotional safety so that you can lead into healing and greater emotional connection in your dynamic with your person. I talked about that. That's what this is right here. You're doing it with yourself, and then you learn how to create emotional safety in your partnership with your man to lead him into his heart space more deeply, to lead the connection into deeper emotional connection, availability, and deeper holding emotionally of all the things in the relationship. It starts here. The idea of holding space is huge. It's so much bigger than I think people fully grasp. It's huge. And I think it's easier to start when we're in the lows, because that's where it feels more dramatic and it gets our attention more, because we don't want to be there. We want to get out of the lows. We want to get out of the negative emotions, right? So start there, because that's more obvious for us to work in. Do the work around just figuring out what you need and what actually helps you feel safe, what calms you, what makes you feel like everything is okay, what nourishes you, what is nurturing, what feels like you're just being held. Those are the things you need to integrate like crazy when you're in the lows, not the things that keep you in the lows and keep you small. For me, another one is my yoga practice. When I'm in the lows, the yoga and drinking water, another one, drinking water and going to my yoga classes become even more important. And I focus particularly on the breath. I focus on the breath. It's not about how well I'm doing in the poses or if I can do as well as I normally would. No, again, release that. No comparison here. When you're in the lows, that's the time to be gentle with yourself. And it's about breath. And it's about releasing the mind junk that wants to just take you down lower, and finding stillness, comfort in the body, in the breath, focusing on that regular in and out, inhale, exhale, focusing on that clears out so much. And then you're also moving the body. So if yoga isn't your thing, move your body, even going for a walk. Moving the body helps to move energy through the vehicle of the body. Very effective. So don't lay on the couch the whole time. Yes, resting is very important and needed and does help to comfort you if you know how to use it appropriately. But also balance it with moving the body to move these energies through, and focusing on the breath and focusing on what you're telling yourself. I hope this video helped. Again, check out the questions. There's some good journaling prompts on the community section of my YouTube channel here. I did a post about this. It's the one with the picture of me on the beach. There's some questions in there. Look at those, do some journaling work around that. And again, drop in the comments below if this video helped. If you guys have any thoughts on this, if there's anything you want me to discuss, I am here and would love to hear from you. Thank you to those who have shared these things with me. I really appreciate you for being here with me and for doing this work. Have a beautiful day, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.